Morning, glory, evening, grace, America. I'm Hugh on this Friday. Hope you have a great weekend ahead. I got a lot to do today. There's a lot of news this afternoon. I want to cover three things. Two great, one potentially very, very bad. Great thing number one, Donald Trump went to North Carolina. He is en route to California. He has visited with and has made pledges to the victims of the North Carolina hurricanes who were forgotten and abandoned by FEMA for many, many months. Good. He's en route to California. It is reported, but I have not confirmed, that he will tell Governor Newsom, I'll get you aid, but you got to do two things. Got to fix your water system and ignore the Chinook salmon and the Delta smelt and get water down to Southern California and the Central Valley, and you have to fix your voting system. Both are legitimate acts of a dysfunctional state. If they do not fix the water system, they will never fix the firefighting system. And if they do not stop putting fish in front of people, we will not prosper as a country. Now, I lived in California unbroken, 1989 to 2016, moved back to the Beltway then. I come back every other year to teach, and it's get worse every other year. Secondly, fix the voting system. We stopped voting, allegedly, on November 5. It took 38 days for California to actually certify its vote. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It is open to abuse. It has almost certainly got fraud in it. I can't prove that, but it is simply the case that if you allow, quote, curing of ballot defects for as many days as California does, bad things are going to happen to good elections. And so Trump has said, fix the elections and the water, we'll get the money. That is terrific. If Gavin turns him down, I hope the president makes available on a case-by-case basis relief to those homeowners who were not insured and leaves California's government to its epic dysfunction. But two good things out of Donald Trump today. One good visits, one big thing. Second good thing, Vice President Vance went to the March for Life. I salute you, Vice President Vance. Thank you. Showing up in person, giving the message, standing with the people who believe in protecting life. Thank you. Very potentially bad thing. For whatever reason and by whoever's decision, it is being reported that Secret Service protection has been withdrawn not just from John Bolton, but from former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and former Special Envoy Brian Hook. Now, I always thought it was odd what happened in the Biden years. They pulled Secret Service protection from Ambassador Robert O'Brien, the national security advisor who had been threatened by Iran. They kept it for John Bolton. John Bolton had left the United States government when the decision was made by President Trump to kill Khamenei. Not Khamenei, Soleimani. Khamenei got mad because Soleimani was his bro. And Soleimani was a strategic threat to the United States. It was an excellent decision by President Trump in his first term. But other people in the room have been threatened by Iranian state actors since then, including, of course, Secretary Pompeo, Ambassador O'Brien, for Ambassador Bolton, and Special Envoy Hook. There are others. We need to protect those people. Iran is a malevolent, evil regime. And it makes no sense to pull the protection from people. Now, I don't know why John Bolton was on the list to begin with, but the Iranians aren't really bright. They're just evil. So he might have been. If the FBI briefs or the CIA concludes that active threats are still underway, and I have to think they are, the Iranians never give up. They're not very good at what they do, but they never give up. Not the Iranian people, the Iranian government. That is a potentially disastrous decision. On a personal level, Mike Pompeo is my friend. Robert O'Brien is my friend. I've met Brian Hook a number of times. I don't consider him a friend, but on a personal level, it would be a disaster. But on a political level, it would have terrible consequences. It would make Donald Trump look weak. It would make Donald Trump appear to be unpatriotic. So I don't know what the decision-making is. I'm not even sure it's true. I have calls out, haven't heard anything back yet, just got reports. Hope it's not true. I'll brief you that on Monday as I do my investigation. Let me tell you, though, I want to begin today as a sort of pickup. If you missed yesterday, when I explained how Donald Trump is the Rosetta Stone for American politics for the past 10 years, and at least for the next 4 and probably for the next 10, you need to go and listen on the YouTube channel, Hugh at YouTube, to the Rosetta Stone monologue and then the interview of Josh Holmes from Ruthless Podcast. Now I want to talk, I didn't cover that. I covered the Republicans, the Democrats, and media, both legacy media old alternative media, talk radio, Fox News, and new alternative media, podcasting, Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, my podcast, Highly Concentrated Hugh, Dwayne's podcast, Dwayne's World, my X account, everything. You can find that at my YouTube channel. There's a brand new alternative media rising, and it's fabulous. It's terrific. And Donald Trump has changed every one of those things. I explained it yesterday, but I did not have time to address the TDS folks who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. By the way, they're on the right and they're on the left. Some people on the right love Donald Trump too much, to the exclusion of concern for their family, friends, and communities. It's great to be in politics. I've been in politics my whole life, but I've always been first God, then spouse, then children, then the country. That's the order. And that should be, I hope, your order. And I get involved in politics, and I suffer when my people lose. I really hate it. No, we have to lose. Democracy. If you bat 500, you're doing well in a democracy, in a democratic republic that we have. But I am guided by the C.S. Lewis admonition in The Weight of Glory. My favorite quote, I have it in front of me so I get it exactly right. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. Nations, cultures, arts, civilizations, these are mortal, and their life is to ours as the life of a gnat. But it is immortals whom we joke with, marry, snub, and exploit, immortal horrors or everlasting splendors. This does not mean that we are to be perpetually solemn. We must play. But our merriment must be that of the kind, it is in fact the merriest kind, which exists between people who have, from the outset, taken each other seriously. No flippancy, no superiority, no presumption. And I try and live that out. Now, a lot of people in my life are on both ends of the TDS spectrum. And I just did a podcast with Donnie Deutsch. And I've known Donnie, 15 years. And Donnie and I don't agree on much. Had a great conversation. And he asked me, what do I tell my people who are afraid of Trump? I said, don't tell him what you know. He's a Manhattan developer, not a right-wing nut. And the first term was taken off the rails by Russia. It was a lie. And he doesn't forget that. But he's a Manhattan. He's Nelson Rockefeller without the art collection. He's got golf courses instead. He's a common-sense conservative driving an agenda that is great for this country and for the world and for our allies. But, as I'll talk with Matt Continetti and Ben Domenech, he's making us fundamentally reassess some issues on the international stage, and that's a good thing. Some people can't get through a day without a dose of outrage about Donald Trump. They are addicted to outrage about Donald Trump. And they're in my life. They're in everyone's life. Some people have cut me off or cannot not bring up Trump, cannot not hate on him, cannot not try and spark a debate they cannot beat me at because there's nobody who can beat me at a debate. For example, on the Constitution or about Donald Trump's executive orders, you can't beat me. You're not going to persuade me, but they're not open to being taught. I'm a professor. I don't cut anyone off, but some people have cut me off. That's fine. I am open, and I hope you are open to anyone who writes you a note and says, hey, been a while, let's have lunch. No politics, let's just catch up. Absolutely take people up on that. To your friends who are obsessed with gotchas and 100 lashes on lefties, tell them to just ease off the brake. Things are going great. Country's going to be great. We are in the golden age. I really believe that. Just tell them to relax, wait and watch. There aren't going to be any ambushes like Brennan, Comey, and Clapper did to Donald Trump before he became president the first time. There's not going to be a Russia. He has learned a lot about how the cats in D.C. operate. He's got a lot more knowledge, a learning machine. And the learning machine has an agenda. I'm not going to agree with all. I'm not. For example, if Trump made this decision about Secretary Pompeo, I'm going to disagree with that loudly and longly. Dangerous for him, dangerous for the country. Dangerous for Iran, actually. You know what we have to do if Iran were to actually succeed in killing one of our high-profile people? We would have to bomb the living daylights out of Iran. That is what Bill Clinton did when they threatened, or Saddam threatened, George H.W. Bush. So, dial it back with everyone and put politics where it belongs. Important, but not dispositive of the quality of your life. And just let it go. If you're angry, or way too happy, just let it go. Focus on that C.S. Lewis question. Focus on God first every day, and then be serene. And if you can't do that, you need help. At least watch Shrinking, which is not R-rated. It's NC-17 rated. But watch Shrinking, right? Watch that. Maybe you'll go get some help, because you need help if you hate Donald Trump too much. You hate him at all, actually, because it's about politics, not about life. I'll be right back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt.